is Carla Italiano coming to you from Savannah, Georgia, and welcome to day 43 of our 90-day social media run. Today we're going to talk about selling on stories, as in Instagram stories and Facebook stories, specifically with a 5-part series and a few tips and tricks in here about how to link accounts, etc. So I'll go ahead and share with you the assignment for the day is to do this 5-story series, which is basically similar formula to what we've been learning through the reels and the lives and everything, which is hook, story, offer. And the story is in 3 parts. So it's hook, 3-part story, and then a call to action or offer at the end. All right. So that's our dare, and I'm going to give you more insight into this. First of all, hopefully you're already using stories in some capacity. If you're not familiar, you open Instagram, and you have these circles across the top that are your stories. They're up for 24 hours, and you have something similar in Facebook in this area. So tip number 1 is to do what he referred to, Fraser Brooks, as a story reset, which is basically when, like I just mentioned, the stories are up for 24 hours. So each time you put one up, it's for 24 hours, and then it goes off. So basically, he wants for this assignment to do it when your stories have cleared. So actually, I thought I was behind today because I hadn't done any stories yet, and I took a few photos from Zooms along the day today, but I just didn't get them posted yet, which actually works in my favor because I'm checking my own stories. My most recent one was 22 hours ago, so it was yesterday afternoon. So I just have a couple more hours to wait, and then I'm going to do my 5-part story. He says you don't have to do that all the time, but if you ever have done this before, and I have noticed this, that if you do this kind of reset where you let your stories lapse for maybe even just a few minutes, and then you start it with a new one, you get a spike in the algorithm. You get more views. And what we're also going to do is watch the views through this, because as he pointed out, typically when you have a series, they have, some people are going to fall out and not watch the whole thing, but the people who do watch the whole thing are the ones that you want to connect with and just start a conversation with. So we'll get to that. First of all, when you do Instagram stories, you'll notice that when you're creating it, there you are. Hi. There's me at the bottom. It'll show, after you make it, I'll just do a quick photo. If you look in this bottom corner, there's your profile picture with a little F, like Facebook symbol. That means that when I post it like this, unless I change that setting, which I can just tap it and change it. Oops, I didn't mean to post it. I just did it. So I'm going to delete it. So I have a clear photo or a clear story reset. Okay. Apparently it went. So it can go to both. Now, if it depends on what kind of account you have on Instagram. So if you have, there's 3 types of accounts on Instagram. You have a personal account, a creator account, or a professional account. So their creator account is new to me. I don't think they used to have that. But for example, I started with a personal account. At one point, I created a professional account. The reason is because on a personal account, when you look at your stories, you can't see the insights on it. You can't see who's watching, who's tapping through, who's clicking, who's swiping. You don't get any sort of data on it. And I wanted that data, which could only be through a professional account. So in order to have a professional Instagram account requires you to have a business page on Facebook. So I do have one on Facebook for that reason, pretty much exclusively. I don't promote it a lot or use it a lot. Sometimes things are posted doubly, but because I don't use it that much, is okay. Because mostly on Facebook, I use my personal account, which is great for building organic following. But if you have, again, a personal account, you get no insights, and you can share to your personal Facebook stories. So when you post, when I was showing you on the corner, if you have a personal account, you can let your story also go to your Facebook personal story. If you have a creator account, you have a choice. If you have a creator account, when you post a story on your Instagram creator account, you can, when you push post, it can also automatically post to your stories on your choice of a personal page or your business page. If you have a professional account, then when you post the stories like mine right there, it will go automatically to my business page on Facebook, which I don't actively build, but that's where it would go. So I don't have the option to post to my personal stories. which is fine. What I'm in the habit of doing is, as I'm creating my Instagram stories, I like to create them on Instagram. It just seems easier to create them there. I will just save them to my phone and then I'll go over to Facebook and then upload them there. So that's not a big deal. But you can, for ease, do it that way. Now you can also connect the posts for that. So I've noticed that too. Sometimes my posts on Instagram go automatically to my business page on Facebook and post automatically there. Which is fine. Again, I don't follow it or use it very much. That specifically for the post is not recommended. The reason is because Facebook likes to see posts that are created originally on Facebook. It'll post it more and you'll get more visibility in the algorithm than if you post something on Instagram and automatically have it posted to Facebook. You can, for ease, for stories, it might especially be helpful if you're posting a lot of stories per day. Like I said, I do it manually and I don't mind. Sometimes I do a little bit different anyway. And but for posts, actually, I like to create posts on Facebook. And the ones that I want on Instagram, I will manually then also put on Instagram. Although some of them will do automatically from Facebook to Instagram. So some of mine you'll see that way. But for the most part, I will create stories on Instagram and then manually put them to my personal profile page on Facebook, or I'll create posts on my personal profile page on Facebook, and then I'll put them on my other platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. If I'm planning to do that. So there's a little background on how to post them, but okay, here's back to our assignment, doing the 5-part story series. So first of all, don't post it right away until you are for sure clear on your stories. It's good for the algorithm. And so post number 1. So one of the 5 is your hook. So the idea is to put yourself either on a photo and then type it out, or on a video and just speak your excitement about something you just saw. This is going to lead into a before and after transformation, depending on your business, or some sort of demonstration of what your product is. For ours is wellness. So we have all kinds of before and after pictures: weight loss, muscle gain, collagen, skin, before and after, scars. We have all kinds of before and after. So the idea is, excited. And this, you can choose either your own transformation or somebody else's. Just say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You'll never believe this. I just got this from Mary this morning. That's the first story, right? And then you move to the second story. The second story is part 1, or the second post in your 5-part story. It says one of the 3 stories, right? So that first one in the middle is the before, and then the next one is the after, and then the third one is what was the process of doing it, right? So again, post number 1 is a hook. Post number 2, and another tip, this is immediately after. So this isn't like post the hook at 9 a.m. and then wait a couple hours and then do the before and then wait some time and then do the after. No, this means immediately, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so right after you do the hook, then you do the first part of the story, which is the before, which you can do any way you want. You can post a picture and then type it in, or he showed us the green screen. This is something actually I've seen others do, but I hadn't seen before. But when you do a story, and you see at the bottom, there's these filters. Oops, I created one. But you see these filters down here that you can select in that scroll side to side. It could be there, or if it's not, you go to the end and there's an option to search for a filter. So you search for a filter, you type in green screen, and then what it does is actually it has a green screen behind you, and you select either a video or a picture that will be the backdrop, and you can still hold your phone so that the image of you speaking is still in the front. So you're going to show a before picture, for example, using the green screen, and then show yourself and say, oh my gosh, this was, Mary's before picture. She sent it to me. It was, 6 months ago. And just talk about it briefly, very quickly, right? And then after that, that's the end of the second one. And then the third part of the 5 is you're showing the after. And you're saying, same thing, green screen, say, oh my gosh, this is, her result. Not only does it look amazing, but she's feeling this and this and this. So that's exciting. And then your fourth of the 5 is going to be, what she did. This is, a certain product, or she drank this drink with a certain ingredient, or she took a product with this, and a little bit about what it was generically. And then your 5th of the 5 story is going to be the hook, the call to action, the invitation to engage with you. So basically, if you want to know how she did it, drop congrats in the comments. And while you're making the video, you want to point down so that they know, they see the little comment box, which they might not know how to message you from stories, but that you can point to it and they know where to go. They said, no strings attached. If you like information on the steps that she took, the exact product, the exact recipe, exact routine, whatever the case is, then drop it in there. So that is the assignment for today. And he said this works so much more effectively than, for example, having like on stories your daily routine. Like, this is me getting up in the morning and drinking the coffee and taking the kids to school, and this is me at working. Oh, by the way, here's a before picture and after picture. Isn't it awesome? And now I'm going to go to the gym. Working, and he says if you're doing that already and it's working, great. If it's not, try this with the reset and see how it goes. So we'll be experimenting with this. I will be myself. I think I've done it both ways, and I don't know. Well, I'm going to play with it just like everything else in here, right? I'll keep you posted. And then, like I was alluding to before, what to do with it. So as you watch on your insights, you'll notice that most people watch the beginning, and it's truly the ones that watch all the way through that you want to reach out to and just simply engage in a conversation. You don't want to obviously like send them information right away because they haven't asked for it, but in the process of engaging in an authentic dialogue, then you can ask them at some point, ask the question if they're open. But basically, just look at the people who watch all the way through. I do find it seems like for me in general, on Facebook, I have more people overall watching my stories. On Instagram, I have a more consistent watch over time. Like, I have a higher percentage who will stick to a story if it has multiple screens on it. So it's something I've observed. So I'm gonna kind of watch it on this one to see if it does that. And then I have done this before, where I look at the people who have watched it all the way through, and depending on the topic of the story, I will reach out to them. But reach out to the people who watched it all the way and just say something. I saw that you watched my stories. Thank you so much for your support. How are you doing? That's all you have to say. Just start the conversation and keep going. And that way, like we taught really early on in this class, that way you are the instigator. You are initiating the conversation, because otherwise they become the investigator. Without you taking the initiative to start the conversation and being friendly, it leaves it open for them to start investigating your stuff, which has value to it, but then they can create their own opinions. But if you're being friendly and in a dialogue with them, then it makes it a lot more fun. So good luck with your 5-part. One more tip that he shared with us. It's he's like, if you want to get noticed by somebody, like if you are following somebody that you really want to have a conversation with, or maybe somebody that you've connected with who isn't engaging as much with you that you'd like, just love on their stories. And I noticed this too, because whenever somebody loves my stories and thinks that that's you, then when I look at my insights and my list of people who are watching my stories, the ones with the hearts are at the top. And so I recognize especially the people that are at the top of the list consistently. So keep that in mind for yourself as you're building your own business, as I will be, I heart them occasionally, but I think I'll make an intention to heart some more. Do that because it's a stacking process. It's something I think Fraser Brooks was giving Tony Robbins credit for teaching it. This idea of stacking. If you like Tony Robbins, if he sees somebody, maybe they attend his events consistently, and at first it's kind of just a face in the crowd, but after a while, when they keep showing up, you recognize them. Same thing, Eric Worre, who's the main trainer with GoPro, he'll see people at different classes of his and at the same event, or always, in that one area, or he'll recognize him at different things, and he'll say, he's actually done that to me, not in a crowd, but I got a chance to meet him, have a photo op. He's like, oh, I've seen you before. Like, yeah, because actually our company hosted him, and I got a meet and greet with him. So people that you want to connect with and be visible to, just which is probably a lot of people, right? Just heart their stories and be present and contribute to their posts as well, as we've been talking the whole time. And it's a lot of love sharing around. So anyway, with that, thanks for tuning in live, and good luck with the assignment, and I'll see you tomorrow.